Hi, I'm Marilyn Bradford, and I would like to talk with you about the foundation class of Access Consciousness because I'm doing a foundation on September 28th through October 1st, and I'm thrilled about it, and I would love to have you join me, and I bet there are questions out there. I've invited my really good, wonderful, amazing friend, Michelle, to come on with me and to share in this discussion. Thank you, Michelle. Welcome.
Thank you, Marilyn. I'm delighted to be talking about foundation with you.
Great.
It's one of my favorite classes.
So what do you think people would like to know about it? What did you get out of it?
Gosh, it really invited me to not just learn about the foundational tools, but actually how to use them in my everyday life. So
Yes.
I had known about them, I had watched videos, but it was actually about taking the tool, learning about it cognitively, but also learning about it energetically and the application, and to get to actually put it into real life scenarios by having that communication with other people in the class, with listening to what they had going on and how they were using tools, and then obviously to be facilitated through maybe something that I had going on that the facilitator was able to show me a different way of being with that.
Me too. I've done a lot of foundations, and it's been so much about one for me. Oops, I almost slid away there. Is that I didn't even know these tools existed. I didn't know this information and these tools existed. I've been trying to change a tire with a screwdriver, and then I got to Access, and it was like, oh wow! And I can use this in my money. I can use this with my relationship. I can use this with how I dress and changing my body. So a huge part of foundation is getting these tools and information. And even if you've gotten them before, going to a bigger, deeper level, greater awareness and understanding of how they can actually be applied in your life. So I think that's one of the most amazing things about the foundation class. Yeah, you will change if you're interested.
Truly, yes. And in such dynamic and pragmatic ways. I mean, it's the greatest pragmatic tool set that I've ever come across.
Yes, useful, totally useful, everyday life useful, absolutely.
Yeah.
And one of the other things that I gotten from the class, I get from Access, but I really got in foundation initially, was a lot more about who I actually who I am, rather than who I defined myself to be, rather than okay, I'm Marilyn, I grew up on the East Coast, academic, parents are this, I taught school, I am a short woman, blah, 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 which is everything I believed I was, to, wait a minute, I am so much more than this. And I remember saying to the facilitator, help me see what else is possible here. This is too contained. And that's what I love about facilitating foundation, is really assisting people in seeing that they're so much greater than they are. It's like, oh, I have this talent. I didn't think I had talents and abilities, and I actually do. So I think that's another wonderful thing about it.
That's amazing. I mean, that's so truly amazing. So Marilyn, how, I know that you've done like many foundations. How have you found it different then with each foundation, say, that you've done? How did the tools show up differently for you?
Well, I think they get deeper, and I use more of them. The thing is, the tools and things you learn in foundation are so different that initially it can be hard. Okay, I'm just going to take these two. Maybe it's heavy and light. Maybe it's who does this belong to? It's just, I'm just going to apply those for a while and see what happens. Sure. And then you apply those and they really change things. And then the next foundation, you'll use a few more of the tools. Maybe you'll really go from answer into question. It's like, wow, the question is amazing. This creates, and one of my favorite, what's right about me I'm not getting. But there's so much information and so many practical tools that every time I go to a foundation, and still now after 12 years, I get something out of it. And the other thing is Access is always changing. So, I mean, the tools are there. They don't change. They just get more and better and more dynamic. And so it's just such an invitation to how to empower yourself, how to use these things to empower yourself to actually create the life you would desire to have. And that's what happens for me.
So do you also have greater clarity about what that life that you actually desire to have could be?
Yes, although in the beginning I was like, I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
However, I knew there was something greater. I knew I could have and be more. And I kept asking questions. And one of the concepts I got from Foundation, and I don't even think I got it the first time around. Maybe I'm just a little slow. I don't know. But I got the whole thing about how much I was distracting myself from my life, how much I wasn't actually being present in my life. And people don't get that because we're not taught to be present. We're taught to distract ourselves with movies, with games, with how's my body, with work, with whatever. And the one thing I want to say, and perhaps this is enough for today, but is if you are present, you have so much more power and potency to create what you desire. And a lot of what I do with Foundation is to actually assist people with exercises, with tools, and how to be so present in their life that they exponentialize the amount of power and potency that they have. Because I can tell you, if you're like 99.99999% of the people in the world, you're using 10-15% of who you are, and the rest is distracted. What if you could use even 30% or 50% or even more of who you actually are? How much greater could your life be? So anyway, I wanted to thank you, Michelle, and I hope to see you all in Foundation. And yes, there is more to you than you ever imagined.
Thank you, Marilyn.